This is why midlife crisis became a thing. You think about the age of 30, that is the age
That's
where
what
most
it is.
people are having the biggest transition of their life. You hit 30, you're like, yo, I'm halfway there. So everything from the past, you looking at like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want that like I thought I wanted that. And you think about it, from 20 years old to 30 years old, that's enough time for people to get to know the facade.
Ooh.
So at 20, you're too old to have anybody telling you what to do, but you're too young for the wisdom of the people who are telling you what to do. So you up here trying to grasp what everybody, your elders, what they're trying to tell you to do, but you're too young, you're too close to that 20-year mark to say that I'm old enough to even be there. So at this 20-year mark to this 30-year mark, you're living in somebody else's truth. So by the time you hit 30, you're like, yo, I don't want to do none of that shit y'all told me to do. Y'all lied to me.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is your boy, Marcus Morton. Always here with me is my co-host, the Aaron Mack. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Ooh, awesome. So, we're gonna kind of roll right into the boss of false.
That sounds good to me. What we got?
All right, so it don't really have anything to do with like the topic or anything, but so I've been trying to get into like pixel art and stuff, right?
Pixel art.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've been watching like a couple of these videos. This guy he like explains it like real well and everything, right? He goes into detail with it. He'll be like, this is what some people do when they do like the outlines of it, and he kind of gives his personal take on it or whatever. And I noticed, like, at the end of all his videos, I don't know if it's like his girlfriend or wife, but she's always at the end of it, like, go like and subscribe. And she's like very like endowed in the chest area, and she's always wearing like these tight cosplay, suits on. And I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like,
Bruh,
I mean,
you know exactly why that is.
I mean, I do, but I'm just like, if they have their own little agreement, like if she like offered to do that, then whatever. But like,
you think he like on the jump pimping the girl out,
right? And I was like, I ain't want to go there, but I'm just like, that's gonna be the boss of false. I don't know if that's a boss of false move, man. I'm like,
it's a boss move only if she agreed to it. Like if she was like, let me.
I was like, yo.
Like if she was just like at the end of the video, it's like, your end cards look kind of boring, honey. Let me just whip my titties out and just get people to subscribe to your channel. Like, yeah. So definitely a boss move only if she agreed. Otherwise, it's sex trafficking.
Jesus.
Oh man, how you been, man? What you accomplished this week, man?
So I started tracing. I started real simple. I did like a couple of different like Marios, like the old, which would it be like the
8-bit joints?
Yeah, I want to say it's the NES one. Might be the NES one. Yeah. So I started doing those. I played around with the colors, made like a little Luigi, Wario, stuff like that. I haven't started on doing like the background, like scenery or nothing like that, but that'll probably be like the next little thing that I practice on. So
dope.
Yeah.
Are you doing all that for a 2D side scroller that you creating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I don't have that type of. I mean, I used to be like ready to jump in and learn how to use a whole bunch of different programs and stuff back in the day and whatnot. But now I'm just like, I don't really know about that. Like, time crunch should just be it be on another level, man. I just feel like I don't have enough time to do a lot of stuff, and then I do too much stuff. So it just ain't my thing, man. It ain't. I need to not do that to myself and spread myself too thin. I think the last thing I tried to use was Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Took me like 20 days to learn how to use Adobe Illustrator. Last time I ever did that again, I was like, "Yep, I'm paying somebody to do it next time." Yep. I work overtime for that.
What does Adobe use for? Is that like the same thing as Photoshop or?
So Adobe is like just like the umbrella, and then they got like a whole bunch of different cloud-based services. Like they got the Adobe Illustrator, that's pretty much like how can I explain that? That's like Inkscapes, the junk that I use to draw the art on the computer. It's pretty much like that. Then you got Photoshop, which is like pretty much a photo editor, generator, whatever you want to call it. Then you have like Adobe After Effects that's used to edit like videos and post production, add like special effects and stuff to videos, whatnot. Yeah, they got a whole lot of different stuff. They got a recording program called Audition, but the problem is that all that shit is like it takes a long time to learn how to use, and like if you ain't really in it to actually use it to its full potential, you ain't got no business up in there wasting your time trying to learn how to do none of that. Right. That's just my personal opinion. And then there's a subscription service too, so then
yeah.
It ain't about it.
I feel it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I guess we can go ahead and roll into the topic.
All right.
You had something that you wanted to discuss, which it looked like a pretty interesting topic to me.
Yeah, so identity. Like I said, me and her after work, we were having a conversation with another associate or whatever, and he kind of touched on a story about like how when he was growing up, he was going through kind of like a identity crisis, and I hear that story a lot, especially in like the minority groups of my friend collection, right? So I was like, why is that? Why do we put like Pacific, I guess, like category on what we should listen to, how we should act, and like what we just do overall. Like when I was growing up, I was pretty like I was into almost like anything that sounded good to me. Like for video games, music, if it was alright to me, like I really didn't care like of the like background or who it was, truly catered to. Especially my music. I was into like some screamo stuff, some rock music, country music. Really, I'd just be like sitting chilling, like driving with friends, and whatever they play, I'd be like, "Hey, what's that song?" And it would be like a country song. It would be like, such and such. And I was like, "All right, let me cop that. Let me get out Shazam or something, and get that later on." So, like, another thing also, speech. Like if you talk a certain way in like the black community, be like, "Oh, you sound white." And I was like, how is white?
How does white sound, sir? Right. Please acknowledge it. Like just inform me. How does white sound, sir?
Right. And like my mom, she's a school teacher, so learning all those pronunciations and slang was like a no in the household. So
it's like can is for vegetables.
Yeah.
It's may I, not can I, you dumbass. Oh man. Glad my mom wasn't no teacher or nothing like that. I couldn't even do it. Like I wouldn't even have the patience for that. Like nah. We ain't about to like Look, I came to ask you, can I go sleep over at my friend's house? I ain't come to ask you about math. Just cut that out. Cut that out. Did you so you didn't have like personal experiences with that when you were growing up? I mean, wait, then you from the country too, so I know it's a little bit different from from where you grew up versus where I grew up too.
Facts. We didn't really like. It wasn't looked down upon to kind of be different. Like I said, I kind of had like a stable, like mindset for who I am. Like I was always, you know, I grew up. You know, my name is my name. Whatever I do, that's me. And then I also was like kind of in the church, so that strong faith and belief system was already instilled in me from like birth or whatever. So the one thing I had was how others viewed me. I kind of had a problem with since I was like the middle child. I would always be like looked at or kind of already viewed from like my older brother or whatever. Like they would be like, oh, it's just, you know, mini older brother or whatever. So I'm just like, you know,
Come on.
I got a name, sir. So yeah.
I mean, it don't help that y'all got the same face either, though.
I
so
mean, it don't,
that.
but like, I mean, twins, they don't go, well, they do go through the same thing. We had like a couple of twins that, so.
Man.
That was
I know growing up, man, like at first, like when I was like younger, cause I wasn't like the cool kid in school. I was kind of like the shy one, the background kind of guy, like the one that seemed a bit goofy. But I realized, like, as I grew up, it won't because like I was those things. Like, you know, kids, they mean as hell. Like they find any type of way or say anything to break you down and to make sure that you know that you need to be put in your place. So if they feel like I came from a place where I'm just being honest, where like if you did something that wasn't like everybody else, and you make everybody uncomfortable, and that discomfort in you being yourself, or the jealousy of the courage of you being yourself is foreign to most people. So when they see it, especially kids, when they see it, they're gonna attack it. Like, let's just be real. Like, if you coming from a environment where there's a poverty-stricken mindset, kids ain't necessarily about being different. Like that's just, it is what it is. They ain't about being different. They about being practical. They about fitting in, especially when the environment is hostile. Like they ain't about all that be yourself stuff. Like all that's out the window. So that was pretty much how I grew up, and that was like one of the reasons why, like when I graduated high school, it was almost like coming out the closet or something. Like you would think that it's like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, like I started listening to like rock music and stuff when I was graduating high school, man. Like I had, like, it got to the point where I had friends, like white Caucasian brothers in the military. Like one of my dudes, Chris, this dude, like, he turned me on to Tech 9.
Come on.
White dude from the suburbs turned me on to Tech 9. Like, I'm sitting up in the car riding with him, and he's like rapping the lyrics. And you know, Tech 9, he ain't one of those slow rappers. My dude like a machine gun. My dude like a machine gun. Yep. So you think, like, I'm sitting in the passenger side of this dude's car, and he's like rapping Tech 9, and I'm looking at him like, bro, what the? I was like, yo, for real? Like, he's like, yeah, man, this my dude right here. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what is this? So yeah. So it was bad for me growing up, man. Like I ain't even about to trip on that. Like I felt like for most of my life I couldn't be me, man. Like that's just me being honest.
Okay. So like with identity, because a lot of times you would hear people say, you know, I wasn't this in life, or, you know, at this time I was still, you know, trying to find myself. Like, I do remember like growing up that I ain't really had like a sense of a style or whatever. Like for dress, really I was just like, you know, kind of like plain colors, like just my shirt was either like all red or like had stripes in it. It was just, kind of plain, because I just wore what was comfortable to me or whatever. I wasn't really into all the latest fashion, the Gucci, the Polo. I ain't really care for all that. But if that's just like who you are, you want to dress comfortably, why isn't that okay in a society growing up that we grew up in? Like, why was everybody so indulged in like the Jordans, the foam posits,
the brands, yep.
Brand
I'm gonna
babies.
I don't know. Like, I don't see, like, me personally, I don't understand the psychology. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I kind of do. Because it's the psychology that surrounds the mentality of somebody who wants to just rock the brands, or somebody like, it's not even about like brands. Like, it's just like, in general, you want to spend money on doing things that make you look like you're a certain status. So you got people who in this culture of the identity crisis, they're afraid to accept the fact that they are without. Like, just being real, they ashamed to accept the fact that they don't have what they want to have in life. So instead of going out to get those things that they need in life, they think that they are supposed to look a certain way to appear that they have those things, opposed to actually going out there and getting it. Because nobody wanted to accept, like, yo, you broke. Like, for real, like, you ain't got money in the bank. Yo, you paycheck to paycheck, you broke. Like, and we still see it today with full grown adults, with kids. Like you living paycheck to paycheck, but yeah, you decide to act like you got money. You walking around with expensive bags and stuff, and you going to your 9 to 5. Yeah, you going to 9 to 5 with grills, right? Yeah, you going to 9 to 5 with grills in your mouth. You got you make sure you get your. You make sure you get your hair did every time you get paid. Like, yeah, you see it all the time. Like, they're trying to catch up with them social normatives, and be a part, like, what they call it, keeping up with the Joneses. They're trying to make sure they keep up with the Joneses, and that's why they buy that stuff. But they don't necessarily consult with the demons that's within them when they doing that. They just kind of masking something that needs to be addressed. Okay. That's my opinion, but like, anybody can get in the comments. Like, if you that type of person that just rock Jordans all the time, my dude, they uncomfortable as hell. I'm just being real. Like, Nikes, Air Force Ones. Like, I seen somebody wearing a pair of Air Force Ones at work the other day, man. And I'm like, bro, your feet got to be hurting.
Come on.
Your feet got to be killing you. You probably float when ain't nobody looking at you. Like, there is no way that you walking around on this concrete floor for 11 hours on some Air Force Ones, some low tops at that. Like, come on, bro. Nah. Ain't no way.
Them low tops, man.
Ain't no way. That shit just, it's all vanity. It's all vanity.
Facts. So, all right. So how do you feel about, like, creating your own identity? Why aren't we pushing the fact that everyone's different? Everybody has their own uniqueness to them, no matter what it could be in. It could be in how they express themselves through art, or just the things they like. Like, why isn't that pushed? Like, why do we have to be herded like sheep?
I mean, because you think about it, like, the person who wants to be different, but afraid to be different because they don't want to face what somebody else think about them. We are in a culture where people are bred to believe that being different is wrong. Like, that it is what it is. In America, we don't teach that. Like, being different is not okay. Don't be bad in school. Don't with some things that we're taught as children that are ingrained into us psychologically, where we fall in line, we fall in place. Like, for instance, when you as a kid, they ask you. I remember when I was in kindergarten and my teacher asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I can't imagine, like I can't think of the amount of times that somebody said something like, "I want to be a king. I want to be rich. I want to be famous, entertainer, a singer, a doctor,
True.
a lawyer, whatever the case was." But then, as you go through life, the way the system is taught, they kind of take some of the options out. Like you had limitless options at one point, and then you just kind of like once you get to a certain point in life, they're like, "Oh, well, you're not from this certain background, so these are the things that you got to do, or these are the things you got to do, or these are the things you got to do, and if you want to get to this level, you got to do something unreasonable and unethical to get there. So there's no point. So just go ahead and forget about that. So you will never be that because this is what you're predisposed to." Yeah, man, like it's that one's a little too deep. I don't really know where I forgot what the question was, honestly, but it's just got people being different. Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. People are afraid to be judged, and nobody wants to be that person that tries to be themselves and then get rejected for being them because you've worked all this time to be somebody else in front of people that you don't really care about. You just spent all this time in front of your family being this particular person, being what you thought your family wanted you to be. And then the moment that you became yourself, those people didn't necessarily like that person because now
Right.
you don't fit in line with them. So now that they're like, "Nah, you need to change back. Nah, if you don't change back to who you were, then I'm out. Like we can't have a relationship no more." Well, then you have the people who they can't commit to themselves because of whatever fear that they have deep set in them. So they automatically revert back. It was like, "Oh, well, I was confident last week when I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to defy my parents and just say, you know what, I don't want to be a doctor and get and marry this person that you had set for me when I was 2 years old. I don't want to do that. I want to travel my own. I want to do my own thing." And then your parents say, "Well, we're gonna cut you off the trust." Now what you gonna do? You just got rejected for being the person that you want to be. So now you just gonna go back and just do it. And then what? You just gonna have regrets.
Oh man, and it's interesting you brought that up because I had that well, I didn't have that idea, but I had stories of people are like that when I was growing up in high school. We did have a young lady that her cultural background, her folks, they believed in the whole arranged marriage ordeal and all of that. You have to date inside the what is it, the
inside the race.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we don't want to mix the blood up.
Ooh.
Yeah. We don't. You can't fall in love with who you want to fall in love with. We just want to mix the blood up.
That's real sad. That was real sad. But yeah, so like, it's interesting how we tie all those things, all those outside things, those material things, with identity instead of the stuff that's inside. Now, oh, dang, this topic.
It's a deep topic, man.
Yeah, deeper than how I didn't know it was gonna be this deep, but we gonna roll with it.
Roll with it. Go ahead. Say what's on your mind, bro.
But yeah,
worst case scenario, we ain't got the insurance to cover us if we say something to offend nobody. So my brand ambassador is sitting next to me. She's within arm's reach. So if she feels like it's like if it need to be taken out, we just go ahead and cut it. We end up with like a 30-minute episode because we offended like the entire world, and the Dirty Trump podcast just get canceled right on the spot.
Man.
Nah. Like go ahead.
But no. We ain't really trying to offend nobody. You are who you are. Like, if you feel, or if you're like attracted to certain things where it either be material, that doesn't make up who you are. You could,
Right.
like you said, you could. I mean, you could like buying nice things and like, but just don't overdo it. Don't make
Yeah.
that your social status or what you want to
Yeah.
show off to perceive a social status.
Yeah.
Whew. But yeah, I totally believe in who you are starts from like the inside and works its way out. Like
Right.
it's the man who makes the clothing, or woman that makes the clothing and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
What's another identity crisis
'Cause
situation?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh,
but,
no, you good.
it brings
I
me
was thinking.
it brings me back to a story where when I used to train people at our job before I got the promotion or whatever. I came across this one young lady who was African. Now apparently African parents, they're a little bit different. They're a little more high strung than most parents. They're like really involved in their kids' lives, and they like literally like make the decisions for their children, as if the children don't have a brain, even if they like full grown adults, which is kind of weird to me. But I was talking to this young lady, and like she seemed like she was a bright kid, like not like somebody who was like a knucklehead or something. Especially when they come out their mouths and say, "This is like my third time starting here." I left 2 times prior. This is my third time back. So
Sound like me.
you know me when I hear stuff like that. Like, yo, what's your motivation? What you trying to do? And I come to find out that she was in school, and the way that they were treating like temps, they couldn't get their schedules. They said that they couldn't have the school accommodations, unless they were full time. So her mom said that ain't go. Her mom said that ain't gonna work. So you gotta quit. Well, you want to work, but your mom said you gotta quit. You could make it work, but your mom said you had to quit. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, as she's telling the story, I'm just like, your mom said you had to quit. You're obviously inconvenienced. This is obviously affecting you in a very negative way. Like we're sitting here having a conversation about school accommodations, and you crying because your mom won't allow you to, and you're an adult. And I asked her, I'm like, and like the conversation lightened up a little bit, and then she started telling everybody else the situation, and she was like, well, I think I'm gonna have to quit again. And I'm like, yo, how old are you? And she was like, it don't matter, I'm African.
Oh, wait, what?
And I was like,
hold on now, flag on the play.
and I'm like, wow. So that justifies allowing somebody to completely step on your life like that? Like, yo, how does that even work? And people who allow their parents to like overstep their boundaries they're anomalies to me. Like, I don't really understand their thought process, and how somebody could just live. It don't work for me. It don't work for me. I get it. The Bible says, love thy mother, honor thy father, or whatever. Honor thy mother, honor thy father, whatever the case is. I don't get the whole, like, if I'm grown and you grown, why you get to be grown and why I still got to be your child? Like, and I'm grown. Like, that don't make sense. You want me to be an adult when it's convenient for you, but you want to treat me like a child when it's inconvenient to me. So it really don't make sense to me for that mentality to exist for people. But it kind of falls in the line of the identity thing, because like you
Speak on it. Take your time.
it's It's too much. It's too much, man. I
understand.
I just wanna go ahead and just say, like Marcus said, like it's well, you said something about be who you want to be. Like, be who you want to be. You don't have to be what they say you are.
Right.
You don't have to be what they say you are. You are completely capable of being exactly who you want to be.
Yes,
you wake
sir.
up every day and you have to live with everything that you do, the choices that you make as a full grown adult, the things that you decide to do, you have to live with those consequences. Nobody else. So if you allow somebody to take the time and take the energy away from you, then you allowed that to happen.
Right.
And the identity issue, man, no, man, you don't give me hyped up, man. I can't go there. I can't go there.
But to kind of piggyback off what you said, about scripture, about honoring that mother and father, at a point in time, that scripture is kind of saying, as a kid, you honor them, but at some point in time, you have to grow up,
break free,
and become
an
an adult.
To break free.
Yep.
Yep.
The things you did as a child, you stop doing those, and you become responsible for yourself, and do your own thing. Now, if your parents don't have that respect for you when you become an adult, if they don't line up something for when you become an adult, all right, this is what you need to do, these are you're adult now, so our rules are, I'm not gonna say they're pretty much suggestions, but if you don't want to follow them, then you can go you can go and do your own thing. We'll still love you because we're your parents and all this and this, that, and third. But
if they don't, then it's a problem.
I mean, not really. It's a problem. I mean,
no. Understand this, like, for real. Like, if you choose to do what you need to do for your own life, and your parents are upset,
yeah,
and your parents get upset with you for doing what you want to do and doing what you need to do for your own life, that's a problem.
Oh yeah,
it's a straight problem. Like, honor that mother that goes out the window when you don't honor your child. Like, when you choose to say that you don't want what's best for your child, then it's a problem. We can't have a relationship at that point. It's the same situation like I told you that when I told my mom that, yo, I'm 27 years old, I got to get out your house. Like, point blank, period. Like, there's no more conversation. I woke up this morning and I looked around and I was in a room that wasn't mine. I got to go. Like, it's not healthy anymore. I'm stuck in this room. I feel like I can't even go. I can't even come out. Like, I don't feel like I'm even safe enough to come out of this bedroom to piss without arguing with you. Like, I got to go. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, fuck you. You just going to ignore me. You just going to leave me behind.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, I'm 27 years old. I got to get the fuck out your house. Point blank, period. Like, there is no more conversation. I'm not arguing with you. I'm gone. Like, this is my last month here. I'm out. Like, there is no more conversation. Granted, it took me 2 months to get out after that conversation, but that's a whole different story. Had she kicked me out, I would have been perfectly fine with that. It probably would have made it a little easier to leave at that point too.
Right.
Had she just kicked me out, so I was ready for that. But yeah, like, if they got a problem with it, man, they just gonna have to suck it up and deal with it. Cause I gotta live my life. I gotta be responsible for me, and I gotta be responsible for your feelings too. So I'm gonna be me, and you just do you over there. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Yeah.
Facts. Nothing but facts.
Yeah. I'm tired of it, man. Tired of it, man.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. Like, no one said it was gonna be easy. There's always that little moment of where you go from like kid status to full on adult. It's almost like we talked last time, taking that leap of faith. You just gotta strap up, commit to it, and just jump.
But bro, like, it ain't even that deep though. Like, did you not understand that at some point I was gonna have to grow up?
I mean, some parents don't. Some parents,
for real, like, Look. Check this out. I was married, and I moved back in your house to get back on my feet.
Jesus.
After the divorce. Come on. Did you not think that at some point I was gonna get out? For real. Like, let's be honest. Like, you got
True.
And some of these parents out here, man, they're like, they want to continue clutching their kids by the balls even after they grow up.
All right.
Even after, like, it's saying like, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna let you go on my terms. You ain't gonna go on your terms. You ain't gonna go do what you want to do. You gonna go on my terms, bro. It's like a prisoner.
True.
That's like a warden, bro. Like, let them go out on the yard and play a little bit, but they got to be back in by 2:00.
Right.
And then they don't even allow you to see the sunset, bro. Like, come on, dog. Come on, bro. Like, yo, it just don't make sense to me. Live your life, man. Live your life, dog. Like, it ain't worth it to let anybody. Like, this ain't just about parent-child relationship. Like, it's about anything, man. Like, yo, for real. Like, you woke up with the decision to do what you want to do. Like, yo, like, for real. Like, don't get that decision to nobody else. Keep your power. You can have suggestions. Like, yo, like, for real. Like, you don't have to do what people tell you to do. Like, you are perfectly fine with making your own decisions. If somebody don't like that decision, then, yo, like, they're gonna have to deal with it. Like, for real. Like, yo, people can make suggestions on how you do certain things. Like, if you're not effective at doing something, I can give you a suggestion on how to do it a little bit better. But I can't dictate how you do it. I cannot dictate how you do it. It's not honorable of me as a person to try to dictate your life.
Right.
In no shape, form, or fashion. If you woke up this morning with an idea to do something, bro, you ain't got to run it by nobody. You ain't gotta get nobody's approval on nothing. You don't need nobody's approval, man. Like, for real. Like, you are perfect. You should be perfectly whole within yourself. When you look in the mirror, if you should embrace the person that you see. You don't need somebody to tell you that you're beautiful. You don't need somebody to call you sexy. You don't need nobody to do none of that. Like, that's not what God intended for you. Like, that was nobody's intended purpose for your life. You weren't meant to be a vessel for someone to use. So therefore, you don't have to mold yourself to what the rest of the world told you to be.
Right. Whew.
You got me worked up, man.
Oh man. All right. So another thing for like a whole like nonchalant thing. Why do we associate identity crisis with somebody that just like a old person just buying a like sports car or something? Why is that the social norm?
Same difference. Like, you done went your whole life with somebody telling you to not do this, do that. Don't go do that. Don't spend your money here. Don't travel there. Like,
but it's your money. It's your hard-earned money. Like,
so like you get to and like you think about the age 30. This is why midlife crisis became a thing. You think about the age of 30. That is the age where most people are having the biggest transition of their life. You hit 30, you're like, yo, I'm halfway there. So everything from the past, you looking at like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want that like I thought I wanted that. And you think about it, from 20 years old to 30 years old, that's enough time for people to get to know the facade.
Ooh.
So at 20, you're too old to have anybody telling you what to do, but you're too young for the wisdom of the people who are telling you what to do. So you up here trying to grasp what everybody, your elders, what they're trying to tell you to do, but you're too young, you're too close to that 20-year mark to say that I'm old enough to even be there. So at this 20-year mark to this 30-year mark, you're living in somebody else's truth. So by the time you hit 30, you're like, yo, I don't want to do none of that shit y'all told me to do. Y'all lied to me. So now I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And that's where midlife crisis came from. That's pretty much the basis of midlife crisis. That's why I didn't have a midlife crisis, because I reached that epiphany when I was like 22. Like I was just like yo, I'm good. I know what I need to be. I know what I need to be. Like I know where I need to be, and the fact that I was trying to get there was the reason why I lost everything. My midlife crisis happened at about 25-ish, I want to say. And everybody know that story. You don't know that story, you go back and listen to a few podcasts ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
This episode of the Dirty Trunk Podcast is brought to you by FNX Fit. AMG is big on growth and developing your business and knowledge base, but you can't focus on gaining wealth if you do not have good health. FNXFit.com has a wide array of natural health products that you can take on the go, including pre-workout, post-workout, natural energy, protein, and my favorite, the Super Green Blend. That's what I've been using lately, and I've been hogging it, honestly. But I've been trying to start juicing for a while now. But when you work a 9-to-5 job, it's hard to squeeze in all of your nutrients, and blending fruits and veggies is another job in of itself. But FNX has a product called the Rebalance Super Green that has natural, raw ingredients, antibiotics, and a 5-grass blend that delivers all the vitamins and nutrients your body needs to function properly. Head over to fnxfit.com and enter the code AMGFIT for 10% off of your order today. Help support our platform today by supporting our sponsor. This episode is also brought to you by Rise to Greatness Apparel. The Ascension brand's mission is to promote growth. Keep learning and keep pushing to be better than you were yesterday. The power of affirmations can be your biggest tool to reaching your goals. So let our merch be a symbol of your affirmations. From shirts to accessories, find Ascension Star and Dirty Trunk merch today on our website. You see me rocking the crisp Ascension Star cap every episode with the green underbill to remind us all to keep looking up to find our destiny. Or if that's not your style, choose between a range of our other products. Your destiny is written in the stars, not on the ground. Head over to ascensiondynasty.com/shop and enter the code AMG10 for 10% off your next order.
So we're gonna go ahead and get back into this episode, and I want to know from you, like, how do you feel about this conversation that we're talking about, and how do you think that is practical? Like, give some practical tips for the audience.
Okay. I feel like your identity is like whatever you are, like how you're feeling that day. Your likes and dislikes. I don't really think it's too much of an outside material type, but more of a deep feeling. And that can change over time, and that's okay. Like we weren't meant to just be the same person, 24/7, or until we're like 60s or something. I mean, it's okay to change. That's what we're made to do. It's human nature to change and adapt to whatever situation or anything that you're in. I feel like me myself, I haven't really had like a whole like a identity crisis. I am who I am. If I like something, I'll get it. How do I feel about the stuff we've been talking about? I feel that where people kind of get hung up in is they take too much suggestions, and then once they take a minute to stop and actually realize where they are in life, they find out that they've let the suggestions take over, and they haven't done anything like for themselves. I will agree, I did have that problem growing up. I did have a mom that wanted me to go to college, then right after college, go to work in whatever field I was studying in.
The traditional route.
Yeah. Learn a trade or something. Basically the I guess the rat race, as you would say.
Yep.
Go to college for a certain amount of years, get a
Yep.
job for a certain amount of years, and then retire at like 65, and then have this whole 401k plan out. Yeah, all that. But I learned I didn't want to really go that route. I also got suggested to do the military route also.
Of course. No question. Your brother's in the military, so yeah.
That's a whole nother story. We were supposed to do that together actually. Do the little buddy system and go in, but Air Force was tripping. Air Force was tripping.
Yeah, fuck all that.
But yeah, actually getting to this point of my age, I've realized that that stuff is just it works for some people, but to other people is kind of mediocre. Like after all that is said and done, like I talked with my brother pretty much, and right now like we're actually making more than military people.
Of course.
Depends on whatever rank you have and whatever. But military, I think they barely make minimum wage sometimes.
Barely. Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
And for anybody who's watching this and like just like asking why I just like straight shitted on being in the military, it's because I actually spent 8 years in the military, and
it was 8.
It was 8 years. I
Jesus.
enjoyed no part of it. I realized like really quickly into my 8 years that the possibilities outside of the military are a lot bigger than actually being in the military. So yeah, once I made the decision that I needed to get out, it was already too late. I had about I had like 7 years left to be enlisted. So there's that. Just in case anybody wanted to know why this civilian was shitting on the military. Thank you for your service. Anybody who's in right now, anybody who's serving the country. I just know that there are other things outside of Uncle Sam, but Uncle Sam is also one of those helicopter parents that tells you that you can't be who you are. So there's that.
I mean, but for all means, if that's what you're into and that works for you, all means go for it. But yeah,
good cop, bad cop.
I mean, I did have great service. Another thing, when I was going into trying to get into the military or whatever, the military has this distinct identity that people push on. Because I'd be like, yeah, I want to go into the Air Force or do like, something military with engineering. You really want to go into the military? I was like, yeah. It's like, oh, you're just going to die. And I'm just like, whoa, what?
Wow.
What? And I'm like,
Slag.
what is your mindset of the military? What do you think they do out there? Like there's
right? Yeah, like it's another job, man.
100+ other jobs inside the military alone that has nothing to do with the front lines.
It's just, I mean, for real, like the military is just a job that sometimes make you fight gang wars.
Right?
And I'm like, what it is.
We're on the winning side. Like our record is pretty decent. Like we're like what? Don't answer that.
That record a little flawed though. Like, let's not go there. That record a little flawed. Just in case we got some listeners in other places, like we don't condone the BS that goes on inside the uniform. Just saying. We this message nor does the country that we live in represents the values and visions of the Dirty Trump podcast or Essential Media. Just want to go ahead and put that disclaimer out there. So, anybody who's listening from Korea, yeah. It's all great, man. The military was another one of those things where I struggled to find my identity, man, because Uncle Sam said I had to look a certain way. He ain't let me wear black, so. Yeah, so there's that.
Okay, so expressing oneself, I think that's also it could either hinder someone's take on their identity or push it forward. Being able to express oneself like fully without any barriers or obstacles really brings out like a confidence to somebody. Like being able to dress how one is feeling that day makes them feel good throughout the day. Again, not saying like, the clothes make a person, but just to be able to, I guess, like put something together that you thought of to get those creative juices flowing, I think really does wonders. A lot of times when I was growing up, just being able to, I guess, get outside and play and do my own thing, that really kind of helped me out, building the confidence of, I'm here, this is me.
Yeah.
So I think express like to really find yourself, I think people need to like express themselves more in like maybe different areas, like find your niche or your I guess hobby in this world or whatever.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think everybody, especially those people who live their lives for other people, like I think everybody should take some time to themselves, man. Like even if that means like, and I'm a big advocate for personal and self development. Like I feel like if you're not growing, you're dying. Like if you're not actively growing, you're actively dying, and you're choosing to die. So personal development for that reason is a big thing, a big crucial thing to me, especially, the brand is about personal development. So I think that everybody should do something at some point of the day, at some point of their lives, at any given moment. You got 24 hours in a day.
Ooh.
You shouldn't spend 23 hours and 59 minutes messing with somebody else. Like that just don't make sense to me. You should always spend time on yourself, especially to learn exactly who you are and what you want, because that is the only way that you find fulfillment in life, is when you fulfill yourself and find a way to balance that with fulfilling others. So take that time to figure out who you are, what you want, man, because that's important, man. That's important for mental health, man. Like you can say that you are all day long, but like at the end of the day, once you sit back and think on it, like, yo, I gave you all this time, like what did you give me? Like figure out what you want. Figure out what you want. Like that is not, it's not even an option.
Just if you're listening, always be yourself.
Yep.
There's no reason you should be out here trying to please others to the extreme where you stop pleasing yourself. You should never want to even like kind of put yourself in that situation, because you would end up losing yourself. You would end up just, I've done so much for others. You'll start to regret being that helpful person, and you really don't want that. It's just not worth it. So like we've always been saying, always take care of your star player. That's what the whole brand is about. Self-reflecting, motivating, start to change you inside first.
Yeah.
And then let that overflow into the world. There we go.
Find your own motivations and believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then none of this that we even saying right now even matters, because you ain't gonna do it anyway. If you lack self-confidence, then you're gonna look for other people to be confident in you, and that ain't efficient. It ain't. It don't work. It don't work. In order for you to be happy, you have to be 100% with who you are. Like you gotta be in tune to everything that you are. You can't look for anybody else to do that for you. So figure that out on your own, and then connect with everybody else, because that's the only way that you'll be able to actually make a difference in your life, make a change, and be exactly who you want to be.
Right.
is if you gain that confidence. So we're gonna go ahead and end it on that note. Sorry, Marcus, I ain't mean to take the last word on it, but you.
Oh no, you good, you good. This has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast. Leave a like and review.
Yeah, make sure you review, man. Like people be like, I ran into a guy last night, man. Like he just like, just seeing me in the store was like, "Hey, Aaron, man, when's the next podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, wait, who, what?" We talk about that in a minute, but the guy we used to work with, man. I realized that damn, I keep I realized that people keep saying that, you know, they like the podcast, they enjoy the content, which I appreciate it, but I promise you that Google, iTunes, and Facebook, and Anchor, all of these platforms will probably appreciate it if you actually told them that, so they can know that it's a good podcast. That not that, you know, we get views, but, you know, views sometimes don't hold up to positive reviews. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of this journey, especially now that we're this is episode 62. Is 62. Like, yo, we going for the long haul. You know, thank you for joining us on this journey, and feel free to share this content, man. And if you know somebody who needs this message, man, let them know. And if you think that we could improve on this message and continue it another time, then let us know. Make sure you leave that in the comments. Tell us why. Tell us what you think about it. And we will see you on next week's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.